Drive in the deep left center. Racing hard is A.J. What a grab! Held A.J. A new record. Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20.
Welcome to baseball's greatest games with your host, Steve Garvey. Brought to you by Major League Baseball Home Video.
Hi, I'm Steve Garvey, and welcome to baseball's greatest games. This week, we take you to the 1979 playoffs between the Orioles and the Angels. The pitchers for Game 3 are a couple of crafty youngsters, Dennis Martinez and Frank Tanana. Baltimore won the first two games, and now we head west for the first ever postseason game in Anaheim. The announcers are Dick Enberg, Wes Parker, and Sparky Anderson. So to Martinez and Tanana and their stuff of 12 years ago, right after this.
Now, you can... Al Mumbrey leads it off for the Baltimore Orioles, a confident, happy team that knows it only takes one more, and they will host the Pittsburgh Pirates next Tuesday night. The winner of this series now knows the opposition will be Pittsburgh, first game Tuesday night. Tanana, 6'3" and 195. He's 26 years of age, from Detroit, Michigan. But he does not have the good velocity. His fastball may be in the 80s, but he has excellent control. Since he first came up as a teenager, he's always been able to throw strikes. That one had a little on it.
A little something on that fastball.
0-2 the count. Tanana has an excellent curve and maybe his best pitch. In fact, he said last year, without a fastball, the straight change was his best pitch. Crowd building up, wanting a strikeout. 1-2.
He's already starting to work those hitters hard, Dick. A fastball outside, fastball inside, and he goes back outside again. And that's the kind of pitching I think the Angels have to beat Baltimore. They've got to move that ball around on those hitters.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Got him. Tanana with a high fastball gets Mumbrey swinging. And that's really what the doctor ordered in terms of the emotions of the Angel team and their crowd. They want to keep the crowd. I think that's what you were saying, Wes Parker. With an early lead or doing well early, then the crowd's going to continue to fortify whatever momentum the Angels might have. And, of course, the Orioles will try to take that away with an early scoring.
Absolutely, Dick.
Kiko Garcia, 2 for 3 yesterday, and knocked in a couple of runs. Foul sat on the screen.
You know, it's funny, too, Dick, because you never used to think of the crowd as being that important in baseball. It was more in football and especially in basketball, but I think it is becoming more and more important in baseball.
There's no question, but what the Orioles felt that in those 2 tight games in Baltimore without the crowd, maybe they don't come here 2-0. Well, Tanana throwing the high fastball by right-handed hitters. He's not done that for a long time.
Hey, the thing I like about Tanana is the way he coils and comes at you. He's coming all arms and legs at you. You don't see the ball till the last minute.
2 strikes the count. Tanana strikes out Garcia after getting Mumbrey swinging, and they're on their feet already in Anaheim.
Boy, if you're looking for a transfusion, Tanana's going to give it to him, I think, here.
Ken Singleton, right fielder, 1 for 7 in the series. Batting right-handed. He's not as an effective hitter right-handed, at least statistically this year. He hit .248 from the right side, .313 left-handed. But powerful both ways. Tanana, he can really make that plate look awfully wide to a hitter because he'll nibble the corners.
He can work the outside corner and just stay out there as long as he wants to. He'll hit it all night.
Now, when Tanana was right, that was the pitch they used to really eat up the right-handed hitters. He could throw the fastball in on a right-handed hitter, and it would tail back over the inside corner. Since losing the good velocities, hesitant to come inside. 1-1. Carney Lansford. And the inning is over. Tanana gets a standing ovation after he retires the Orioles in order. The Orioles are out. The Angels against right-handed Dennis Martinez coming to bat. Rick Miller, Carney Lansford, and Danny Ford to face the right-hander in the bottom of the first inning. Miller 1 for 9 in the series. The outfield again shifting toward left. They give him all of right center. Look at that hole in right center field. Ball 1. The Angels, in winning their first division title, finished with a flourish. They were 9-2 in their last 11 games at home. Down the left field line, that's Renicky. Foul ball into the first row of seats. Had it been fair, Renicky would have caught it. They pitch him away and play him away.
Dick, I'll guarantee you when Jim Fregosi was driving to the ballpark today, the only thing he asked for is please get us out of the first inning without anybody scoring.
Kelly has his first wish. And I'm sure then he said the second wish was I'd like 23 runs in the first inning myself.
I don't blame you.
One ball, one strike. Yep, one around. 1-2.
Only takes one, Miller.
Ooh, there's that nasty curveball.
Oh, is that a good curve, Dick? Boy, I've never seen him throw that hook before, but that is outstanding.
That's his quick one. That's his real short, quick one. Now he's got one that's a much bigger break that sweeps a little more.
That's an optical illusion, isn't it?
Yeah, that's an optical illusion, all right. Oh, that's his real quick one there.
Look at that thing go down. That is an absolutely outstanding breaking ball.
And it all happened the last 25 feet. Carney Lansford, 3 for 9 in the series. Takes it on the outside corner, strike one.
You know, Dick, if I was a hitter and I saw a pitcher had that kind of a breaking ball, I would be laying for the fastball and try to hit it right away before he gets ahead of me.
High hopper. Base hit.
That was his bigger curveball there, Dick. He takes a little more off it than the bigger one. It's more of a sweeper for him.
And you also see how hard this turf is.
Unbelievable. He just hits that ball right down into the dirt in front of home plate. And look at this. Dollar was not even playing that shallow. The ball almost hit the outfield grass on one bounce.
I call it the cement people, I'll tell you.
Lansford has the game's first hit. Brings up Dan Ford, who homered in each of the first 2 games in Baltimore. He was the Angels' top hitter at Anaheim Stadium this year, batting .321 at home.
I'm afraid as hard as that Stargell and Parker hit the ball, Dick, it might hit there and bounce out of the stadium.
Ground rule double on one bounce, huh?
Let's see now if Baltimore tries to change the way they've been pitching Ford. They've been pitching him away, and he's been hurting them.
Outside, ball 1.
Looks like they're going to stay outside with him.
When you consider the fact that Ford's back foot is almost out of the batter's box on the side, you would think they couldn't hit that outside pitch.
But he goes right into everything, Dick. And I'll tell you, that first pitch, as Wes said, they're trying to go away from. I guess he hasn't made him a believer yet.
No stance quite like that one. One and 0, and Martinez keeping an eye on Lansford.
Dick, he is so close. The way he looks back over that shoulder, you almost think he must do neck stretching exercises before the game to get loosened up.
He has a muscle pull of the ribs. You can see why. He has his body almost contorted just in his preparatory stance. Lansford, good base stealer at first. 1 out, just underway, bottom of the first inning, Anaheim, California. There he goes. High. And the Angels have their first stolen base of the series. For Lansford, he had 20 this year.
Carney Lansford is the fastest runner on the Angel ball club. He performed some brilliant base running yesterday, going from first to third twice.
You're going to see this come the whole ball game if Jimmy gets people on. If you watch Martinez's leg kick, it is so high that he's just going to run on him every opportunity he gets.
You can see the power with which Lansford hits that dirt. He was roaring into the infielder, Garcia.
The later you make your slide, the quicker you get into the bag, and he wanted to get there as fast as he could to beat that throw.
Angels have a chance. Runner at second. 1 out. 2-0 on Ford. 3-0. On deck is Don Baylor. Three balls, no strikes. First base open. 1 out. Fouled out of play, and he challenged him with a fastball right down the middle.
You got to really give Jimmy Fregosi credit here, Dick. He's going to attack right from the start. He's down 2 games to none. That's what I say about that ball game yesterday. They showed tremendous courage all the way. They never backed away, and now today he's showing them we're down 2 games to none. We're not going to back away from it.
You may have read or heard about an incident on the flight back from Baltimore last night on the charter flight involving Fregosi and Angel broadcaster Don Drysdale. We were on that flight. We'll give you our comments. 3 balls and a strike on Ford. Angels in front of their home fans trying to take the early lead. Ford, very deliberate hitter, now settles in. Pickoff move. Oh, they just missed. Nicely timed as Rich Dower, the second baseman, made the break.
I don't think you'll see many clubs that are better schooled in fundamentals than Baltimore. Dower did not even have a big lead, and they made it a pretty close play. Now the catcher, I believe, tipped that off when he raised his glove up for the timing as to when the pitcher should throw.
Wes, there's only one thing I'd like to see Dower done there. I'd like to see Dower drop the knee on the third base side of that bag. He had him, then he could have went right into it.
In other words, just block him off and take the bag. That's okay if you go in hand first and not feet first.
3-1 the count. Out of play, way upstairs. No, Martinez battles back and now has Ford 3-2. Well, let's quickly get in our comments about the incident involving a shouting match between Fregosi and Drysdale. We'll start with Sparky Anderson, because when we got on that charter plane, Sparky said to me, he said, Dick, I'm going to get in the back row of this plane with Jimmy Reese because I've been on these kind of flights before, and I just know something's going to happen.
And I didn't know, Dick, that anything had happened until we landed, and I was waiting for my baggage, and Jim Fregosi explained it to me. And really, it was just over an incident over Barr and Drysdale's all I really knew about it.
We'll get Wes's reaction. 3-2 to Ford. And now it's Martinez making the hitter wait.
Dick, it was a 5.5-hour flight, and after just losing 2 ball games, the Angels were upset. Drysdale, who was such a competitor with the Dodgers, was also upset. He happened to see Barr, who's got a bad finger, and questioned him as to why he couldn't go out and pitch in spite of the injury. Barr took exception to it. They started shoving each other. Then Jim Fregosi got into it, told Drysdale, don't be bothering my ball players. And they got a little excited, but it's all been settled now. Don called Jim today and apologized.
Base hit, right field. Might be a play at the plate. Cut it off. Ford is out. As a nice play by Murray as he cut it off. And the run scores, but Ford is thrown out at second base.
That's 3 straight games in which Danny Ford has driven in the first run. Now Ford just goes right on to second to try and take the play off of the plate. I think that Carney Lansford would have made it anyway, but Danny Ford tried to get to second base, a good cutoff and relay from Eddie Murray, and a good throw from right field by Singleton.
9-3-6 on the putout, and the Angels take the lead 1-0. But that's nothing new. They've led 1-0 after their first at bat all 3 games. Baylor's last 2 trips, base hits yesterday. Ball 1. Boy, it seemed like an eternity that Dan Ford was up there. Don Baylor had 699 plate appearances and struck out 51 times this year. We started to talk about that a couple of nights ago. You marveled at that, Sparky.
It's unbelievable to think a man that the type of power that he's had all year to strike out 51 times.
To give you an idea, the 2 leadoff hitters in this game, and their guys not swinging for home runs. Rick Miller struck out 69 times and was up less than 200 times in Baylor. And Bumbry struck out 74 times in 600 at-bats. Here's Baylor, a power hitter, only fanned 51 times. Popped him up. Kiko Garcia wants it. And the inning is over. 1 run, 2 hits, and no one left. After an inning, Angels 1, Baltimore 0.
Let's pick up the game. In the bottom of the 3rd, the Angels are coming to bat, and they're leading 1-0.
Jim Anderson leads off the 3rd for the Angels and takes a strike. Anderson looking for his first series hit. 5 at-bats. He'll be followed by Miller and Lansford.
I asked Jim Fregosi if he had given any consideration to starting Campy Campaneris, and he said, yes, I have, but Anderson is the fellow who got us here, so I want to give him the chance to play.
To go around? Yes, says first base umpire Dinkinger. 0-2 the count.
Let's have a look. Most of the time on check swings, we've talked about this before, the hitter does swing, and very definitely he did there.
He'd hit that ball out of the ballpark, Dick, if he'd hit it.
2 strikes on Anderson.
You know, the thing is, once you start that bat, even though it only weighs 32 ounces, that's 2 pounds, and it takes so much energy to get that thing started that when you try to stop it, it's almost impossible.
Oh, Anderson had not realized that Skaggs did not catch the ball cleanly. Anderson was running back to the dugout. Obviously, Skaggs would have had an easy play at first anyway. Dennis Martinez has his 2nd strikeout. He used that curveball again to get it.
I tell you, Dick, I wonder how that would look if that ball went to the backstop. A little funny. You're going to the dugout and the ball's back here.
I think that's a rookie's mistake, Sparky. Most of the veterans would look back and make sure that ball had been caught.
Well, the reason he ran back, he was embarrassed.
That's right.
That's embarrassment.
Put back to hiding. Miller struck out his first at bat. Garcia, right through his leg. Well, one thing we have seen on every ball in the infield, gentlemen, they've been hugging low. Everything has stayed down.
The ball is staying down. That's exactly right. Now, Garcia took the wrong angle. He kind of tried to charge the ball as he moved over. He should have just slanted over sideways. He got caught on an in-between hop.
And he might be having some trouble with his back again today, because they told me this morning that he's had a lot of problems all year.
Now see how he's moving more towards second base. Now if he had slanted over in behind second base, he would have gotten a better hop and still been able to throw out the runner.
That's the first error of the game and brings up Carney Lansford, who singled and scored the game's only run. Ball 1. Lansford 4 for 10 in the series. 1 out.
Dick, they really like to hit and run with Lansford. He loves to hit and run. I wouldn't be surprised within the next 2 pitches they run Miller.
And when you hear a manager, Wes Parker, say that, they like to hit and run with a player, that's a manager's praise coming out. They love those guys that will hit and run for you. That one hit very high to deep left center. Well back, but Bumbry has a play, and so does Renicky, who gets the out. Miller tagging, and he's out.
That's still good baseball. I'm glad he tried that. That's the way to play the game, Dick. Take a chance like that. Make that outfielder make a perfect throw. Try to get into scoring position. He gets thrown out here, but if he tries that all season long, they're going to come out on top. That's good baseball.
And it was a perfect throw by Gary Renicky to double him up. After 3 in Anaheim, the Angels lead 1-0, and we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
I do commercials the way I slide, head first. So here it is. This year we messed up and injuries messed us up. I can't blame you if you got down on us, but don't count us out. We learned what it takes to win. A lot of us learned a lot of things. And this dude was at the head of that class.
Get your seats to watch Lenny and the guys go for it in '92. Get tickets for the full season or part of the season, starting at just $91. The pack.
Have a look again at Gary Renicky making a fine throw as he cuts in front of Bunbury. He was really almost pedaling backwards when he let go of this ball. He was not in good position to make the throw, but his arm is so strong and the throw is so accurate that Rick Miller is out. And Miller runs pretty well. This is actually, all things considered, quite an outstanding throw.
Can't throw him any better than that, Skip.
No, but I love the way he put the tag. He put that ball right down and stayed down there with it.
Let the runner tag himself out. Garcia, first pitch to Anderson. Nice play by Carew to leave the bag and make the swipe tag.
This is just part of a first baseman's job. There's so many little things that a first baseman has to do that sometimes go unnoticed. Anderson just throws the ball high and away, and Carew has to leave the bag, then tags the sliding runner, and that's the way to do it.
The inexperienced first baseman might try to stay on the bag, and then you don't make the play, Sparky.
That's the difference right there. He came off, the ball's tailing, he went off and got it, knew he could beat him.
Nice effort by Garcia trying to slide underneath that tag, anticipating the play. Singleton takes ball 1. He grounded to third his first at bat. 1 out in the 4th, 1-0 Angels. Game 3. Upstairs. Pittsburgh's Pirates will be the National League representative in the 1979 World Series as they beat Cincinnati 7-1 today at Three Rivers Stadium to make it a 3-game sweep. And Willie Stargell had himself a series.
Willie Stargell is really amazing. Really is. He has that groove swing.
Breaking ball, and Singleton out in front.
I think that makes a difference, Dick, when a player like Stargell, who's 38, 39 years old, can still play so effectively at that age as he does have a groove swing. And players who don't usually can't last that long.
1-2 pitch. Out of play.
The thing I like most of all, Dick, truthfully, when it was all over, Chuck Tanner in front of the mic, I thought was super. He was very humble about it. He didn't try to be over boisterous or anything like that. I thought Chuck was great, but I thought Willie Stargell, he almost had tears in his eyes, and that just shows people Willie cares so much about this game. I'll tell you, he's one of my all-time great people.
He's a leader. Hit well to right center field. No one there. And Ford will have to play it. Could be a play at second. Not in time. You saw Anderson give the statue look, hoping that Singleton would ease up, but Ken knew that there might be a play as he rifles a double to right center.
Dick Tanana took a real chance on this pitch. He pitched him outside, and Kenny Singleton, a big, strong kid, likes to get those arms out. And he was able to here. He drilled this ball, just hit it real hard. In fact, if he hits it any higher, that ball would have been a home run. That's how hard it was hit. Now, Ford plays the wall well, but Singleton runs well enough to beat the throw to second base.
The Orioles, with their first extra base hit, have the tying run in scoring position. 1 out in the 4th inning. And their tough, young first baseman at the plate, Eddie Murray. By Lansford, Singleton had to hold, so he'll not be able to score. As Murray grounds a single to left, and here come the Orioles.
Now, that's one of those situations where if there are 2 outs, the run will score because the runner will not hesitate, and he'll start. But here with 1 out, Singleton holds up. Make sure that the ball gets through before he commits himself to go to third base. Managers don't like it if that runner starts, the third baseman makes a great play and then tags him out, and you've got nobody in scoring position.
But all these base hits are coming one place, right in front of home plate, just up in front of the plate where the dirt part is. 90% of all ground balls hit there. And what's happening, it's so hard there that that first shot hits there and it's taken off. It isn't so much through after it gets to that grass. It's that first thing right in front of home plate there.
First and third, one out, and Lee May, the batter. He drove Miller right to the center field fence his last time up. Ball one. Murray had a big lead at first base. May will be trying to hit the ball in the air, and at the very worst get himself a sacrifice fly and tie the game. The base hit, left field. Singleton scores. Murray stops at second. It's a 1-1 tie. Solid single by Lee May, his first hit of the series.
If you've noticed, Wes and Dick, Tanana now is not getting the ball in that good spot no more. But this inning here, he's gotten the ball up. He's gotten the ball in the middle of the plate. And if he continues to do this, he's going to get hurt.
And he's going to get a visit from pitching coach Larry Sherry as right-hander, I believe that's Don Ossie, tuning up in the bullpen.
He's been a medical marvel already, Sparky, and to see just what he's done so far is more than anyone had really ever expected. He's facing a good ball club, you know, but Baltimore can hit.
An extremely good high ball hitters. You cannot keep the ball up and over the plate to them. You've got to get it down. You've got to be on the corners, because if you're up, they're very strong, and they love that ball up and over the plate.
And Earl Weaver's team manufacturing the Birds' first run. Solid double by Singleton and singles by Murray and May. 1-1 the score. The hitter, Doug DeCinces. Get into a double play his first time up. The Angels looking for a chance at 2 to get out of the inning. Popped him up into, well, that ball's carrying pretty well into center field. Miller tagging is Murray, and he'll make it to third. 2 away.
What you said just at game time, Dick, is really true. That ball, that was just a routine fly ball, and that ball just carried and carried.
Now the Orioles 90 feet away from taking the lead, and the hitter is Gary Renicky. Renicky grounded to third his first time up.
He's quite a story, too, Dick, because he was considered just a throw-in in the trade a couple of years ago when Baltimore got him from Montreal with Don Stanhouse. But he's proven to be a lot more than a throw-in as a player.
On the inside corner. Now Renicky with that fine defensive play, doubling up Rick Miller on a perfect one-hop strike to close out the Angels in the third. Now a chance to give Baltimore the lead.
You see this story so many times where a player can't play for one club but can for another. Renicky just could not break into that fine Expo outfield with Valentine and Cromartie and Dawson, but comes over to Baltimore and really starts to contribute.
First and third. Strike 2.
Dick, here's a play that Earl won a ball game with earlier in the year. First and third. He's got 2 out, 2 strikes on the hitter, and what he'll do is, just as Tanana gets set, the man on third will break while Tanana's looking at the man on first. The moment the guy on third breaks, the guy on first will kind of stumble, so you'll throw over there. And when you do, that run scores. I don't look for him to use it here. He'll save this for the 9th, 10th, 11th inning. That's what you'll use to win the ball game.
2 strikes the count. Hit him, and the bases are loaded. Tanana didn't want to do that.
No, and that's not deliberate. He's trying to come inside there and get that corner one more time, but he doesn't want him to make a mistake. He was just trying to be a little bit too fine. You remember the home run Lowenstein hit was on an 0-2 pitch? Well, Frank might remember that.
Renicky was hit in the left elbow last Sunday in activities before the final game of the season, and he just got struck there again. Well, there's Weaver counting the bases. 1, 2, 3. A bird perched on every bag. And Jim Fregosi looking for a big out. Rich Dower, solid single his first time up as the Oriole hitter. Ball 1.
Dick, Jimmy just does not want to get behind in this ball game, period. He knows as long as he can stay even, give him a chance to get back in the lead again, but he does not want to get behind in this game.
He had to wince a bit ahead of Renicky 0-2 and lose him hit by a pitch. 1-0 to Dower. 1 ball, 1 strike. Base is loaded for Baltimore. 2 out in the 4th inning. Fly ball to center. Miller in his tracks, and the inning is over. 1 run, 3 hits, and 3 left. Middle of the 4th inning in Anaheim. The Angels won. The Orioles won.
The Orioles DH gave Baltimore the lead, and now the Angels hope their DH can tie it up. That's not too big a job for Don Baylor. After all, he was the American League MVP that year with 36 home runs and 139 RBIs. Well, now to the bottom of the 4th.
Dan Ford, Don Baylor, and Rod Carew, and the crowd asking for some runs. Ball 1. The fan energy in Baltimore and Anaheim has been just remarkable. They used to say the baseball crowds were sedate. They'd sit back and just relax and enjoy a day's game, a hot dog and a beer. Boy, not in these 2 cities. They feel they're part of the team's success.
I think one of the reasons, too, Dick, is you've got younger crowds now in Baltimore. The team changed sponsorship with radio stations, and they've got younger kids coming out there with a younger station back there. And the same thing out here. Orange County is a young community.
Dick, with that last swing that Disco Dan took, I think he's very serious about this playoffs.
A couple of home runs already for the man Martinez is working to Ford. 1-1 the count. Curveball misses. 2-1. Ford has been the hitting star for the Angels in the 3 games. He has 4 RBIs, including his run-producing single in the 1st inning tonight. Out of play. Well, any advantage the pitchers might have enjoyed as far as the twilight backdrop is gone. Night has fallen in the west.
Now, that last pitch is about the first time I've seen Baltimore really try to come inside. I think that's where you should pitch Danny Ford, is inside. I mean, he's already proven to them he can hit the outside pitch.
We always tried to pitch him inside, West, and when we went outside, we'd go off the plate 4 to 6 inches and 2 strikes occasionally chase him. We always tried to stay in on.
Well, that ball was right on the inside corner about waist high. That tied him up, too.
2-2 pitch. Ooh, well, that's that curveball. Martinez gets ahead of you. It missed that time, but you can see the wicked break on it. 3-2. Do you feel any tension at all, even though you're in the sanctity of the broadcast booth, Sparky?
I have to admit, Dick, I had tension both days. You know, I knew how both dugouts were feeling, and right now, that last out that Dower made, for instance, I knew how Jimmy felt. He had to get out of that inning without them going ahead.
3-2 pitch. Hit deep to right field. Singleton back has a play. That ball would have been a home run in Baltimore.
Home run in Baltimore, and I think in the 1st inning or 2nd inning here, it'd have been a home run.
Dale Ford, the umpire down the right field line, talking to Singleton. Some of the fans you could see throwing paper and material at Singleton. That's you don't see that very often at Anaheim Stadium. It's a well-behaved crowd, and the police department here wastes no time. They don't fool around with you. If you're going to misbehave, out you go. Don Baylor, the batter, popped up to short his first time up. Martinez getting tough.
Let's have a look. Well, there you see it. A few paper cups coming at Kenny Singleton's back. Now it gets Don Baylor. He has moved way over into right center field. Not because they were throwing at him, but because that's the place to play Don Baylor.
Hit well to left center field. Way back. Angels are in front 2-1.
That was Gary Lineker taking a peek as the ball goes over the wall, but with plenty to spare. It looked like a high changeup.
The strong man of the Angels, who hit 36 this year, has his first in the playoffs. Carew, base hit center field. Listen to this crowd.
You know, Dick, you knew that Baylor was going to do it. You just don't know when.
This is more than a battle of two ball clubs. It's a battle of two crowds. I think the Angels are really trying to outdo the Baltimore crowd.
Ray Miller, 31, the pitching coach of the Orioles, crossing paths with Earl Weaver. And Baltimore is getting someone up in the bullpen. And there goes Weaver down in the hole. He played squirrel in 3 yesterday when it got tough in that 9th inning. Listen to the crowd. Yes, we can, they're chanting. Yes, we can. Gets away, but not far enough. Hey, Carew has had a good series. That was his 5th hit.
Dick, this is the first time in the 3 games that I can sense that Baltimore is a little bit on the defense. The Angels are seeing now that the momentum is starting to turn a little bit for them. And I think it's that game yesterday when Ferguson stayed right there and kept his forces right attacking at all times.
Wall-to-wall humanity. Very few locked into their seats. There goes the runner, Carew. He's in there. Fregosi is playing aggressively.
He picked an outstanding pitch to run on low and outside. It's awfully hard for the catcher to come out of his crouch and make any kind of a decent throw on that kind of a pitch. And again, the straight-in slide to get there as fast as possible.
I believe he stole that one off the pitcher.
Stole this right dead off the pitcher with that high leg kick of his, and look at Carew. He never looked back once. He was all the way going to steal that base.
Trying to pick him up. Unhappy with himself when he missed that one. The former President Richard Nixon, as he follows the activities. Mr. Autry. Hey, you own the ball club. You eat anytime you want to. All right, cowboy. He's got quite a party going in Anaheim tonight.
Well, they both look remarkably cool in the midst of a frenzy.
2 balls, 1 strike the count. Downing singled his first time up. Carew at second, 1 out. Fouled away, and Downing trying to shoot it to right field. Don Baylor's home run, as if this Anaheim Stadium crowd needed anything to awaken it, but it certainly sent everything else up another few notches. Earl Weaver down in the runway that leads back to the Baltimore clubhouse, and that's a pretty long one in contrast to the one at Memorial Stadium. You can really get back there.
They might have to send Earl a telegram when they want him this time.
Jim Fregosi right there on the top step. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Grounded right side. Martinez just did get his foot on the bag. 4-1 on the putout as Carew moves to third. 2 out, and the batter will be Bobby Grich.
Martinez just a little late getting over. Of course, the throw was behind him. That made it a tougher play. But he has stayed remarkably cool for a youngster, 24 years old, in his 3rd year out of Nicaragua, in the midst of bedlam here among the Angel fans.
But out of it all, the score is just 2-1. I think the fans feel they've got to get Tanana as many runs as they can. And
I think they do, Dick. I think you're absolutely right, and I think the fans sense that because he's not throwing real hard anymore, and as Sparky said, he's starting to miss some of his spots. In Baltimore, you can just feel them start to roll when they start bunching up those hits.
The ball club may not be desperate, but I get the feeling the crowd is.
Well, that's the thing, Dick. They're super. That's why it's going to really help this ball club.
Breaking ball, strike 1 to Grich.
Dick, I don't think, though, really we can say enough about yesterday's game. When you're down 9-1, and Jimmy Fergosi, to me, he definitely established himself as a tremendous leader with this ball club and with this whole town for what he did yesterday.
He didn't change that expression. It was 9-1, 9-8. It's always the same.
He showed them that he is there and he's not moving.
1 strike to Gritch. Carew at third, 2 out. Ball low.
Hey, Sparky, he's a heck of a manager, Jimmy Fergosi. You know, the hardest pennant to win in any organization is that first one. The Angels went 18 years without ever coming in first place, and Jimmy Fergosi turned it around. There is nothing harder than turning an organization around, and he did it.
Well, his ball club would have won 105, 106 ball games if he hadn't had all the injuries, too.
1 ball, 1 strike on Bobby Gritch, the ex-Oriole. Beautiful curveball by Martinez. It's 1-2.
He has done nothing but make superb pitches, Dick, ever since the Baylor home run.
He curved. Gritch got the inside corner, and then he hit the outside corner. Oh, my, a beautiful curveball, and Gritch is gone. The Angels get a run on 2 hits, leave a man at third, and after 4 innings, in beautiful Anaheim Stadium, the Angels 2 and the Orioles 1.
The Orioles didn't score in the top of the 5th. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, it's still 2-1 Angels.
Larry Harlow, ball 1 the count. Ball 2. Harlow hit a solid line drive out to left field. His only time up.
Harlow last year played center field for Baltimore when Al Bunbury broke his leg. Harlow was the regular center fielder. He came over to the Angels this June for cash.
That's when the Angels were desperate. They had lost Rick Miller with a broken hand the 1st of June. And Joe Rudy, of course, was injured most of the year. Murray, a tough in-between hop, made it look easy for the putout. Tim Anderson is the batter for the Angels. A lot of people are happy to be here, but there's something about this kid. He exemplifies that beautiful spirit of loving what he is doing.
Well, I don't, I think I'm happy. I think I'm happy no matter what I'm doing. I've always wanted to do this my whole life, and, what better way to earn a living? It's just great. This is a great life, and now, I hope I can contribute.
What better way to make a living, right, Skip?
Don't ever tell him about sports announcing.
Would you say that's stealing money, huh? Jim Anderson. 1 out, no one on. Last of the 5th inning. 2-1. Angels lead Baltimore. Good breaking ball from Martinez. So we told you about that at the start. Martinez, regarded as having one of the best curveballs in the American League, had a testimony from the Angel hitters tonight.
Especially when he keeps it down, Dick. The ball looks like it breaks much sharper down.
Line drive, base hit for Anderson. Well, that'll make him even happier. His first hit of the series.
He just got rid of about 80 pounds of weight right in the back right there. You know who he reminds me of, West? Doesn't he remind you of Jerry West? If you look at him in the face, he reminds you of a quick glance when Jerry West was a young man.
Yeah, out of West Virginia, Cabin Creek. Anderson, pretty good all-around athlete. He'd like to have the success in this game that Jerry West enjoyed. College and professional basketball. And not a bad golfer now. They say he's almost good enough to be on the tour.
Look like Jimmy just said, boy, was I glad to get that one.
1 out. Rick Miller struck out safe on Garcia's error. Hits the outside corner. Strike the count. Base hit. Anderson going to try for third. No, he doesn't. That's surprising that Anderson didn't go to third because Singleton does not have a great arm.
He wanted to go, but he looked to the coach too late. Now, really, a hitter or a runner should make up his mind on his own here, Dick. But he tried to pick up the coach and was too late getting the sign from the coach who was waving him on. That play is right in front of him. He's got to make up his own mind.
He's got to make up his mind before the ball's hit with one out of right base hit to right field. You've got to go to third.
He has to go, Dick, and there's the thing where the kid just didn't want to make a mistake, and that's too bad because if that young man had been playing here a year and this was the second year, he'd have been standing up at third base.
Well, that's a big play, Sparky, because you want that runner on third base with less than 2 outs where he can score on a fly ball or perhaps an infield out.
In contrast to the Orioles, who were going first and third all day yesterday, the Angels pass up that opportunity, so they can't score a run on an out. One away, Anderson at second, Miller at first. Carney Lansford, who has singled and scored and hit into that 8-4 double play, the batter. Loop behind first. Tough play. Murray. And the ball gets away. All the runners move up. Even after a drop, you felt that the Orioles will get it out, but it took an angel bounce.
You don't see Baltimore make too many mistakes. But right here, Eddie Murray makes one. Now, Rich Dower might have been able to make the play easier, but he could not run through Eddie Murray. Murray backpedaling, just had that ball die off to the left on him, and he simply misplaced it. That's one of the very few Baltimore mistakes we've seen in this series.
But not unlike the mistake made by the Angels, Bobby Grich in Game 1 that led to 2 very important unearned runs as the Orioles went on to win an extra inning. Let's see if the Angels can take advantage. Bases loaded, 1 out, and Dan Ford, the batter.
You know, Dick, you were absolutely right when you said Dower. Dower had to call Murray off. Murray had to turn and go back. Dower's angle was perfect for the ball. He must call Murray off.
The Oriole infield will play back. Look for the double play. 2-1 Angels, a big opportunity in the last of the 5th inning with 1 out. Could be 2. Dower gets 1 there, and 2 as Ford slides in. Surprisingly, had he run it out, that might have been a very close call. So the Orioles, who have built their season on pitching and good defense, turn a big double play.
Ford swings at a bad pitch. Really, it wasn't even a strike. And the ball was down low where you can get the double play much easier. He should have laid off that pitch.
And a close one at first base. So the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left. After 5, 2-1 Angels. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Angels. 1 run, 4 hits, and 2 errors by Baltimore, but neither error has cost the Orioles. Ken Singleton. Now here's a key inning for California. After losing an opportunity to get maybe a run, maybe more, a big inning. Now, if the Orioles can come back and score, you'll see a big momentum shift.
You bet.
Well, Jimmy's got Aussie down there, and the one thing about it, if Tanana could give him this inning and maybe 1 more, but definitely this inning, Dick, you're so right. If he can get there, then Aussie can give him 3.
Base hit. You knew that was going to happen as Singleton zeroes in on that pitch over the plate and lines it sharply for his 2nd hit of the game, the 5th by the Orioles. Tying run on, no one out. And here's Eddie Murray. He has walked and singled. The crowd announced at 43,199, the 3rd largest in the history of Anaheim Stadium. 43,199, and that's even with accommodation of 500 reporters, people of the press that are covering this game. Out in front, strike 1.
I don't know about you, Dick and Wes, but I get the feeling that when they finish closing this, you're going to see about 10 or 15 full houses then, too.
Yeah, they could have used those seats tonight. It'll be around 72,000 capacity when they complete the stadium construction.
Boy, will they have some noise in here when they get that done.
change again. Back-to-back change-ups by Frank Tanana.
This is the book on Murray, Dick. You've got to pull the string on him, both left and right-handed. Keep him off balance. He's an outstanding fastball hitter. In fact, I would classify the entire Baltimore club as a fastball hitting team.
What's great motion, Sparky, on that change?
Boy, just think about 3 years ago when he was throwing about 93 or 94 with that thing.
Another base hit. Fastball on the outside corner, and Murray went out and got it. Singleton slips and falls. They got a shot at him. He is safe. Oh, what a break for the Orioles. And here comes Jim Fregosi. Rich is not arguing, so apparently he felt that he missed the tag.
So close. Singleton on his way to third base. You'll see he makes up his mind right here. Now he's going to turn it on, but he hits the bag wrong. Falls down. Now, it looked like Jimmy Anderson might have been able to tag him himself. He elected instead to pitch to Gritch, and Singleton dives in there with that right hand.
Looked like a good call. The tag was a little high.
Watch Jimmy Anderson, though. I really think he could have made the play himself without pitching it to Gritch. Now, it's a good throw in. Perfect throw from Harlow. No, maybe not. He might have been too far away. So Singleton just recovers, makes a good play to get back.
I tell you, Dick, you got to give that umpire, that's a tremendous call right there. That's what you say, being right on top of the play.
Al Clark made the call, and he was right there. Look where he is. Look at his position. He's got his nose right on it.
Well, the thing is, he wasn't automatic about it. Most umpires, when the ball beats the runner to the bag, will call that man out. But he hung right in there, really watched to see what happened, and Singleton made that low dive with the hand and beat the tag.
So Singleton hung out to dry and is able to crawl back safely. And Eddie Murray is telling the trainer, Ralph Salvon, hey, don't wipe any base hits out of there.
Well, Dick, it started last inning on Tanana getting up, and right here, both balls were up and over the plate. Singleton straight away. He got 2 change-ups on Murray, and then got him a fastball right up and away from him where he could hit it into right center.
Let's see that call one more time, as Singleton didn't know how he's going to get it. Look at the dugout of the Orioles. They were really anxious. Well, he did a great job of getting his arm around the tag, because as he started in, if he had continued that path with the arm, he'd have been out, but he kind of curled his arm around and hugged the bag from the backside. Lee May, foul ball, and things are starting to get a little nervous down in that Angel dugout as the Orioles teeing off here in the 6th inning. And the chairman of the board's box, Gene Autry, he's got his television monitor, and he's got some rather interesting companionship tonight. Mr. Nixon, one of the Angels' #1 cheerleaders, soon to leave San Clemente to move back to New York. 1 strike on dangerous Lee May. 1-1. May rifled a single to left field this last time up to drive in the Oriole run, and has a chance to get the game even. 2-1 California. 6th inning. 2 on, no one out. Change up, fooled him. Earl Weaver agonizing with each pitch. Something's happening inside that man as well. He just doesn't show it as much. Ripped foul. Well, May has hit some wicked foul balls.
All right, Frank Tanana is just trying to measure Lee May and see what he's looking for. He's been flipping that changeup up there, and now May's starting to get a piece of it. I think you can look for Frank to at least think about coming inside with that fastball or coming back with a breaking ball.
He hasn't used the curveball the last couple innings.
No, he hasn't.
Take, and Tanana thought he had strike 3.
Frank wanted that one so badly. He had him set up for it with that change. The umpire motion, it was that far inside, about 3 inches. He's trying to hit this pitch right on the flat, because Lee May's a good inside fastball hitter. If you don't make that pitch perfect in there, he's going to hurt you.
Tough to tell from our angle. We're not on center. And Lee may jump back, and the count is 2-2.
I think the catcher tried to move it over for him, Dick.
Change up in the dirt, and now Tanana has to throw a strike, or the bases will be loaded with no one out.
Well, the hard part is, Dick, when you get a hitter set up for a certain pitch and then you miss with it, you don't know really where to go from there. He tries to come back with a changeup, throws it down in the dirt. Bryant makes a nice play.
Especially since the ball hit home plate, and sometimes that'll jump up higher than it does when it hits the dirt. Now 3-2, 2 on, no one out in the Orioles' 6th inning. This is the biggest pitch of the game to this point. Ball 4, and the Orioles have them loaded up. Oh, wait, now, is that a foul ball? Lee May started as if he may have fouled it off. Nope, just hesitant, and now goes on to first.
I think, you know, a lot of people might wonder why they weren't running 3-2, nobody out. Lee May strikes out so often, and Singleton is not a good runner. Therefore, they could not gamble. Earl gambled that he wouldn't hit a ground ball.
Here comes Jim Fregosi, and that may be all for Tanana. Tanana's given him 5 good innings, but after the Angels wasted a golden opportunity in the bottom of the 5th, now Tanana has dug himself a big hole in the 6th inning. Fregosi takes the ball. Don Ossie will come in for the California Angels. With right-handers Dua, DeCinces, Renicky, and Dower. Although we could see a pinch hitter, don't forget. Left-hander Lowenstein. Left-handed hitting Pat Kelly. Good bat for Renicky. This is Ossie, an Anaheim native, coming in. Frank Tanana gets a hand. Jim Evans as if to say, hey, how could you call that a ball? That 2-2 pitch. With a break in the action in Anaheim, 2-1 California, we pause for this important word. Number 46, Don Ossie, has replaced Frank Tanana, inherits a bases-loaded jam. No one out in the Baltimore 6th inning. Now, the Angels had bases loaded, 1 out, and Ford grounded into the double play. Let's see how Doug DeCinces, if he can get that ball in the air. Angels play back, look for a double play. They'll give up the tying run for 2. Out of play. Ossie is not a big strikeout pitcher. On the year, 1-9 and lost 10, ERA 4.81. In 185 innings, Ossie struck out 96 men. FOB, full of birds. Singleton at 3rd, Murray at 2nd, May at 1st. Looped into foul territory, but out of play as DeCinces had his bat sawed off in his hands.
He jams him real good on this pitch, up and in. DeCinces has a hard time getting the bat around and just shatters that thing. As you can see, the head of it flying away. Now, Jim Fregosi thinks he can really help Don Ossie by letting him pitch in relief for a while. He may use him in relief again next year, although he used to be a starter. And get him back on his game. He's had a hard time pitching recently. And Jim thinks that perhaps using him in relief will help him as a starter in the future.
Ossie was the only man who survived in the Angels starting rotation the season without injury. But because everyone else was hurt, he pitched every 4th day and just ran out of gas in August. Relegated to the bullpen when Tanana and Knapp came back along with Ryan. Bases loaded. No one out. 2 strikes on DeCinces. You know what Ossie wants to do. 1-2. I've never been able to understand that, Sparky. When a catcher sits so far outside, it's so tough to get a strike on the corner. I mean,
I'll be honest with you, Dick. I don't like to see a catcher get way off the plate. How are you going to get a ball even if it tails back? I like the way that most catchers, you watch Bench, he might move a hair, but very little. He's told his pitcher where he wants the ball. If you move too much,
the hitter knows you're way out there. 1-2 the count. Let's see. Well, DeCinces wants a little time to think about it.
Well, you're right. A hitter can pick that up, and sometimes if a catcher knows that, he'll shift back at the last second. He'll start he will shift out and then back to fool the hitter.
One ball, 2 strikes. DeCinces Has grounded into a double play and fly to center field. It go around 2-2. Fans looking at that one with their heart. But Ozzie has lost the 0-2 advantage. Now there's a difference in pitching philosophy between the two organizations. Earl Weaver has said, you're 0-2, why not strike him out on the third pitch?
At 2-2, it's just about even between pitcher and hitter. Neither one really has the advantage.
Especially with the bases loaded. Fly ball and hit well to right center. That'll get a run in. Both runners tag at second and third. Singleton comes in. Murray goes to third, so that's a big fly ball for DeCinces. The game is tied, and he moves the go-ahead run to third with one out.
And I think what Wes said about Danny Ford there, Wes goes right back to it. Both balls that he fouled off first were high pitches. Then he laid off. There's two real money pitches he laid off. He made him get the ball up again.
One out. The game is even. Oh, this has been an outstanding series. And here comes the pinch hitter, John Lowenstein, the hero of the opening night win for the Orioles at Baltimore.
John Lowenstein.
Fans in Anaheim not quite as happy about his heroics as those in Baltimore.
I don't think this is because Renicky got hit by a pitch. These two men have been platooning in left field most of the season anyway. So with a right-handed pitcher in there, I'm sure that's what Weaver is thinking. He wants Lowenstein, the left-hand hitter, to hit in this situation.
Lowenstein hit .254 on the year, had that big home run in the 10th inning off Montague to win it on Wednesday night. Well, you figure Lowenstein hit 11 home runs and Renicky 20. That's 36 home runs from your left fielder. They talk about the Orioles not having a lot of power. They, along with May and Singleton and Murray, they got a lot of production out of the left fielder. Although Lowenstein also, of course, used as a DH. Time is called.
Dick, they've got power. The last 2 years, Baltimore has out-homered the New York Yankees.
That's a good stat. Milwaukee Brewers and Boston, the only teams to out-homer them. Lowenstein up. Good runner. Tough to double up. Runners at first and third. Whoa. There's Earl Weaver saying, hey, right there. Stay right there.
There's Rod Carew. That's the standard sign among first basemen to the pitcher that they are going to play behind the runner to give them a better chance to maneuver, possibly pick up a ground ball and turn that double play.
Lansford is in on the grass at third. Ball 2, 2-0. Ozzie in a tough spot. The Angels and Orioles are tied at 2 in the top of the 6th inning.
Big situation right here, Dick. We may look back on this inning and decide that it will decide this ball game.
Well, in that case, it might decide the series. Ball 3. And that one swing by Lowenstein has earned a lot of respect. Although in this ballpark, that ball hit on Wednesday night would be an easy out. Bragosi, the first time seeking cover. Ball 4, missed outside, and the bases are loaded. Certainly didn't want to do that. He had the double play set up. The only advantage for the Angels there is the fact that with the bases loaded, force at every base, and you have a right-handed hitter up. But although Rich Dower did not have that impressive batting average, .257, we remind you that Dower led his team in game-winning hits with 14.
You know, the tendency in a tight spot is to try and make a perfect pitch, but sooner or later, you've just got to come in there and challenge somebody because you can't keep making perfect pitches. And Dower is a winner. He came out of USC. He played with Roy Smalley, Freddie Lynn, Dennis Littlejohn, all kinds of fellows who are in the big leagues now. He was taught to win by Rod Dado.
Little fly ball to center. Miller does not have a strong arm. Murray is tagging. Here he comes. Double play. They got him.
Angels as Rick Miller throws out Eddie Murray at the plate. Look at this throw. Ryan Downing blocking him off. And the Angels get out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam with only 1 run scoring.
1 run on 2 hits and 2 left. Double plays helping out both clubs. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning in Anaheim. Starting anew. Orioles 2, Angels 2.
It's another close game. You know, the way it's been so far in this series, California scores first. Then the Orioles come back. Then the Angels come back. Now add in another factor, the frenzied crowd in Anaheim. Well, let's go to the top of the 7th. The score is still tied 2-2.
Something few teams did in the American League this year, cage the Orioles, the runaway winners in the East. They're tied at 2, and a breaking ball strike to Dave Skaggs, leading off the Orioles' 7th inning. He is flying to center, grounded to short. It's now Don Ossie's ball game. Strike 2, good fastball. Tanana went 5+ innings, allowed 2 earned runs, 6 hits, walked 2, hit 1, struck out 3. And we harken back to comments earlier. Martinez's reputation gets better as the game grows longer. 2-2.
You mentioned something else, Dick, about Baltimore. They won 102 games this year. The Angels won 88. That's a 14-game difference. And in the history of playoff competition, only once has a team ever won facing that kind of a deficit. And that was the 1973 New York Mets, who knocked off Sparky Anderson's Cincinnati ball club, even though the Reds had won, I believe it was something like 17 more games than the Mets.
You're right, West, and we felt very sure going in, and we ended up losing in the 5th game. Seaver beat us. It was a great playoff, and they deserved to win.
Skaggs with the count 2-2. Ball 3. Earl Weaver. He has to cup his hands because Earl doesn't have a lot of voice left. He did blow a gasket yesterday. You saw Brian Gubble on the pregame show. Fly to right center. Long run for Ford, but he'll get there. And there's one away. You notice the railing around the water cooler here. That's to protect the animal. Water coolers often take the beating from frustrated hitters. And even the police are on the Angel side, at least in this park, understandably.
It's such a contrast to see Earl Weaver jumping up and down and screaming and ducking down out of sight and letting all of his emotions out, and Jim Fregosi just sitting there trying to be calm, and you know what he's going through, exactly the same thing that Weaver is.
Here's Al Bunbury, 0 for 3 tonight. Dangerous leadoff man, takes a strike. Didn't think so. Bunbury is 3 for 11 in the series. Yes, sir. Weaver, now 49, replaced Hank Bauer, midseason 1968. 1-1. I like that camera. You see the fastball, and you almost get a trailing effect on it, a tracer effect as it comes into the catcher and hitter. 1 out, 1-1. The count on Bunbury. There's a tracer on that one, and it may be ticketed for 2 and might be 3. Bunbury's thinking about a triple. Here he comes around second. Safe.
Oh, what super base running by Al Bunbury. He really turned it on. That easily could have been a double except for his hustle. He just ran that into a triple. 2 great relays by the Angels, too. Rick Miller to Bobby Grich. Grich throws a strike to Carney Lansford. Bunbury just simply beats it with his speed. Here's Rick Miller playing the ball off the wall. You saw how fast he got rid of it. Now watch Grich. You just can't have 2 better throws than that. And he still beats it.
Les, there's no way you could work hours and hours, and you could not make it any better, and that's what the game's all about. Miller picked it up. He knew right where Grich was going to be. If you'll notice, Grich had positioned himself so that he could throw right over his left shoulder, which he did. He just turned and was going right over the left shoulder because he was lined up perfectly for third.
Cal Ripken, third base coach for the Orioles, said, I got you this far, Al. Now, would like you to get you 90 feet in.
That's such a beautiful part of baseball, Dick, when you see outfielders and infielders teaming up that way and making those perfect throws.
Now, here in the 7th inning, the Orioles threatened to take the lead with 1 out. And Terry Crowley comes off the bench to hit for Kiko Garcia. That means we'll see the Gold Glove of Mark Belanger in the Angel half of the 7th. Crowley, pinch hitter in game 1, fly to center. That was before Mr. Lowenstein wrote his name into a lot of baseball memories. Infield is in tight. Try to cut off the run at the plate. Crowley, a good fly ball hitter. You see Lansford in front of the bag at third. Anderson, Gritch, and Carew around the Angel infield just off the grass.
Dick Crowley's an excellent high ball hitter and fastball hitter.
Up the middle base hit. Crowley delivers, and the Orioles lead for the first time 3-2.
Sparky Anderson called it, Dick, and looked like a fastball. Crowley played for Sparky at Cincinnati in 74 and 75. And he just picked on a good pitch and hit it in the right spot.
And I tell you, Dick, just like that infield in, it's tough. They had to have it in, but anytime you bring it in, you make that hitter a 400 hitter in place of a 280 hitter or 290.
Although, Sparky, I think that ball had been a base hit even with the infield back.
I do, Dick. It was a base hit. Again, it hit in that dirt in front and made it go faster, but Crowley is a good high ball hitter, and he waited. That's what I mean about guys that are good hitters. They go up in situations like that. They wait for the ball they know they can hit.
Mark Belanger has gone in to run for Crowley, and of course Belanger then will stay in the game and take over at shortstop. So Baltimore leads for the first time. The Angels scored a run in the first inning on a Lansford single. He stole second. Ford singled him home. The Orioles tied it in the top of the 4th inning on a double by Singleton and an RBI single by Lee May. Don Baylor's homer made it 2-1 Angels in the 4th. Orioles tied it in the 6th and now have gone ahead. Ossie gets Singleton, but Belanger moves into scoring position. And Eddie Murray, the hitter, will see whether Ossie elects to pitch to him. First base is open. Sparky, do you pitch to him?
No, I believe he's going to be put at first base because Lee May's a right-handed hitter, and Ossie's got a pretty good breaking ball. You try to throw Mo a lot of breaking stuff, and I would have to think if they're going to pitch to Murray at all, they're not going to really pitch to him. They're just going to go around him.
You're probably right, Sparky. The only thing I can think of in favor of pitching to him is that he hit right-handed the first 2 times up. Now he has to hit from the left side, and having been a switch hitter, I know it's very hard in the course of a game to suddenly switch over to that other side. You feel stiff the first couple of swings.
They're going to walk him. They can still hear the sound of that ball hitting his bat yesterday at Memorial Stadium when he cranked it long way back in the bleachers.
That's why I hope they never bring aluminum bats into professional baseball, and I don't think they ever will, because it just isn't a good sound. Not like that bat on the ball, that wood.
Well, plus the fact the way that those aluminum bats, that ball jumps off the mound, you're going to hurt some pitchers. They have enough trouble ducking line drives off the wood.
Well, especially this year, Sparky and I have talked about it, and we're both convinced that they've really livened up the ball, particularly this year, maybe as much as 10%, Dick.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dick, if you hold it sometime when the pitcher gives it to me, it's breathing. I'll tell you, that's how alive it is.
When you feel that heartbeat. Most of you said you saw one out in the grass today, and it was munching on some of the grass out there.
That's right. It breathes to you, boy. It's talking to you.
All right, back to business. 3-2 Baltimore. Lee May up. RBI single and a walk, and a long out to center. 2 on and 2 out. Ossie trying to keep his team in the game. Whoa, breaking ball strike. It's amazing, Sparky, how May, with that twitching of the bat in his hands, how he ever gets his hands ready to hit. But, boy, he gets it going, it's there.
The Bopper has one thing in mind. He will never get cheated. I've never seen a man like him. He doesn't worry about a thing. He's going up there hacking.
Outside, 1-1.
The thing is, too, Dick, he twitches that bat so fast that there's no time to get him caught in between. If he did it a little bit slower, you might have a chance, but it's so quick, he's like a hummingbird the way he does that.
Watch those hands of Lee May with Belanger at second, Murray at first. 2 outs in the 7th. The Orioles have taken the lead. Smothers that one foul.
The greatest pleasure I think I ever had is the 2 years Lee was with us. He never talks to a manager why you manage him. And now he talks to me all the time, and that's his way. He believes that he's there to do a job. He don't bother anybody. And him and Tony Perez, I never met two people like him on a ball club. They have more fun and can agitate and keep a ball club going better than any two guys I've ever been around.
Yeah, he's the clubhouse leader of these Orioles, and as the veteran at 35, keeps them not only on their toes, but keeps them loose. Ossie trying to find a strike. 1 and 2. 2 out to May. Blanchard had not wandered that far away. In case you just joined us, the superstructure you see out beyond the fence, of course, is the addition that will be coming and continuing to grow here at Anaheim Stadium as they go to the over 70,000 seats for football, and the Rams will be here next year. 1 and 2. Didn't want to swing. And you can see that Mr. May is getting a steady diet of breaking balls.
At least he's getting a piece of that ball, Dick. That was a perfect pitch, a pitcher's pitch, that breaking ball in the outside corner. Lee May is just a notorious inside fastball hitter, and Ossie is trying to avoid throwing him that pitch, but May is at least getting a piece of the pitcher's pitch, so he's still up there.
Blanchard at second and Murray at first. 2 out. Alba going on anything. Got him. But the Orioles score a run on Bunbury's triple and Crowley's pinch hit single. They lead 2. Stretch half of the 7th in Anaheim. The home team trails by 1.
With the Orioles ahead 3-2, let's jump ahead to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for California.
Don Baylor, their most valuable player, homered tonight and is lined out 1 for 3. And to hear the chorus, yes, we can. Dennis Martinez has other thoughts. 3 outs away from the World Series, the Baltimore Orioles. Popped him up. Belanger and Lowenstein. Lowenstein. 1 away. And that is a big out, getting Baylor off the bases.
You know what they say about Martinez? You can really see it, Dick. Here we are in the 9th inning. He looks like he's throwing just as hard now as he was at the start.
Rod Carew, 1 for 3 tonight. Two outs to go for Baltimore. They lead 3-2 in the 9th inning. Timeout called. One of the cameramen down behind the Baltimore dugout with a light on, shooting some of the crowd. And meanwhile, Mr. Gene Autry with the former president Richard Nixon, Mrs. Autry, down to a precious few. Left center field, trouble. Carew has a double, and that'll bring the winning run to the plate.
There's no way the series the way it's went that it could possibly end without at least the time that winning runs getting to the plate.
Oh, it's mayhem in Anaheim.
A big clutch hit by Rod Carew, who's waited his entire career to have a chance at playing in the playoffs. And here he drilled that ball up the alley. A good pitch, too, down and away.
Boy, that was a good pitch. Earl Weaver out to talk with Martinez. The tying run at second, Carew. The batter is Brian Downing. The bullpen is busy, and we're going to see a pitching change. Don Stanhouse. I can't believe it. Stanhouse again.
3 straight games. It's unbelievable after all the pitches he threw yesterday.
Stanhouse, who has walked the tightrope in the series, and Earl Weaver, great confidence. Dennis Martinez runs off the mound and is congratulated by his teammates. That Weaver, he has a surprise or two. He's got Stanhouse coming in, and you know we've got some more drama. We'll be right back. The score is 3-2 Baltimore. 1 out, last of the night. We're back in the second inning when Downey rifled a single to right field, and we read his lips at first base saying, why couldn't I have done that last night? And you got another chance. Not for the faint of heart, however. Fans all on their feet. Upper deck and right, box seat behind home plate. Deep reaches down by the foul poles. They're all on their feet, looking for another come-from-behind win. And Stanhouse trying to stop him.
I thought our World Series was 75 when Boston was exciting, but this one tops them all.
3 games, and it's just been packed with this kind of drama. Now Downing's turn again. Carew the tying run at second, 1 out. 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Oh, he threw it to him.
Same pitch.
Same pitch, and he took it.
That looked like a ball. Wasn't that high?
It might have been high. He apparently thought so, but that was basically the same pitch that he grounded out on yesterday.
You're right. Same pitch.
Maybe that's why he didn't swing at it, because he did ground out on it yesterday.
Oh, my.
Borgosi is really giving it to him from over there, too.
Giving it to the umpire. He thought it was high. 1 strike on Downing. Oh, what a cut, and it's strike 2.
Boy, he's keeping it up there, Dick, and here's a fellow who hardly ever allows a home run, who really has as his bread and butter pitch that sinker down around the knees, and he's pitching up high.
And Stanhouse perhaps knows what he's doing. A bit unpredictable, but solid all year long out of the bullpen. And a chance to figure in all 3 wins. The winner Wednesday night. He saved it yesterday, 9-8. And a chance to save it tonight. Foul back. Just got a piece of that one. And the crowd, it's a deafening roar. I just wonder how that affects not only Stanhouse, but Downing, the hitter.
What you have to do as a hitter, Dick, you know the crowd's behind you, so you don't really have to listen to them. What you do is just get yourself in your own world, and you have to concentrate totally on that pitcher.
Stanhouse ahead on the count, 0-2. On deck is Bobby Grich.
Dick, I wonder where Earl is right now. He probably took off.
Outside, 1-2. Now we were looking for Earl, but he is back in the runway. There's the Oriole bench. They have the lead, 3-2, and 2 games to none. Miller, Fry, Robinson, some of the other players, and no Earl Weaver. 1 ball, 2 strikes. High, ball 2. I can't sit down. I'm standing up.
That's one of the hardest things right now for Downing, is just to keep taking his balls, because you want to almost get it over with. You want to get the strike and hit it or settle the issue once and for all, but the balls just prolong the agony, force you to concentrate even longer. And Stanhouse is such a deliberate, slow worker anyway. Each time in between pitches, Brian has to get out, get back in, and get that concentration back.
Carew at second, the tying run, 2-2. Unbelievable noise! Unbelievable!
This is
I don't think I've ever
the baseball in years. I don't know what happened.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher step off the mound because of crowd noise. Oh, that's really something.
Fouls it away, and the drama continues.
Did you see former President Nixon cupping his mouth and yelling? He was trying to yell through the glass. He was so excited.
Look at that. All the pressure that man's gone through in his life, and he's biting his napkin. Two balls, two strikes, one out. Baltimore 3, the Angels 2. Last of the ninth, tying run, Carew, second base. Ball 3. Sparky, you read your crystal ball. You told us there wouldn't just be a 1-2-3 inning.
Couldn't, Dick. Not the way this thing's went. It's been the greatest series I know myself I've ever witnessed.
3 games, you just can't get any more out of 3 games than this. And the Angels hoping it'll go 4. The Orioles said, hey, we're ready for the World Series. Bobby Grich, ironically, a man who left Baltimore for greener pastures, bigger dollars, came to Anaheim, immediately suffered a back injury, very disappointing his first 2 years with his ball club, then has his best year ever as a professional this year. He had 30 home runs and 101 RBIs. He's up there with a chance to beat his former club. Runners at first and second, 1 out. The Orioles looking for a double play. The crowd looking for another come-from-behind win. Rich has only 1 hit in the series. Ball 1. Rich, his first year in California, hit .243, 7 home runs. Last year, .251, 6 home runs. This year, Bobby Grich, 30 home runs. Hit nearly 300. 1 ball to count. The outfield toward right. Popped up and out of play.
Danny Ford's down there, Dick, and he's waving that ball. Foul, foul. Danny's right up there on the step. I've never seen anybody rooting so hard. That whole Angel bench is up there.
Dick, it might be a good time to mention that Don Stanhouse thrives on this kind of pressure. This is what he enjoys. In fact, his teammates say that he doesn't really start to work until he gets the bases loaded. He doesn't quite have them loaded yet. But he is a good pressure pitcher, always has been. That's when he's at his best.
I agree. I would think he's about the coolest guy in the park, knowing his personality, even though he's the man who's got to make it all happen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2. And he could want to keep that breaking ball up there. Earl Weaver has made his presence known again on the Baltimore bench. It's a time for scratching and puckering. 2 on, 1 out. The action pitch, 2-1. Fouled away, and Stanhouse made a good pitch.
This is such an exercise in concentration on both the part of Stanhouse and Grich. An excellent pitch. Bobby tried to go with it, just got under the ball a little bit. He can drive that ball to right field, though. Bobby has the power to hit that ball out to the opposite field. About 20 of his 30 home runs went to right or right center this year.
The pressure on Grich because the number 8 and 9 hitters follow, and the power then will be gone. Carew, the tying run at second. Downing at first. Line to center. Carew dropped the ball. Here comes Carew. It's tied.
had that ball in his glove, and somehow it leaked out the front side. There's Downey getting to second after the ball was dropped, but Carew really took a chance. He was almost to third. It would have been a double play.
An error charge to Bunbury has tied the game at 3. And maybe someone up there is looking after the Angels.
Dick, if you remember last night when we arrived here, there was a big circle all the way around the moon. And I said, looked up and I said, there's the halo they're looking for.
It's still 3-3. Bunbury, the sure glove in center, a hesitation, and then it just fell out of his glove. He looked at the glove in disbelief. He couldn't believe that ball got out of there.
He couldn't believe it, Dick.
Carew gambled all the way and scored 3-3. And Bunbury waving into the dugout saying, is this where you want me? Do you want me in left center? Larry Harlow, the batter, 1 out, downing the winning run at second. Ball 1. After Gritch, an ex-Baltimore player, now Stanhouse faces another of his former teammates, Larry Harlow, who is 0-for-7 in the series and has a chance to win the ball game. Skaggs comes out to talk to Stanhouse. I don't know if they can hear each other.
You know that this crowd, I honestly believe, had something to do with Bunbury missing that ball.
That seems so obvious, Park, and I'm glad you said it, because I think everyone watching and those of us up here feel the same way, but that almost sounds like Hollywood stuff, that it's corny, but he did hesitate. He probably didn't hear the ball off the bat, and every outfielder knows that's an important ingredient in reading a ball, and he dropped it. He should catch that. He'll catch that ball the next 99 times.
Unbelievable, Dick, because all he has to do is catch it. It's over. Carew is doubled up.
Line to left field. Fair ball. Here comes Garvey. Here's the throw. The Angels win. New Year's Eve. Unbelievable. Jim Fragosi's comeback team has done it one more time. There will be a game 4 tomorrow. The final score in Anaheim tonight. The California Angels with 2 in the 9th beat the Orioles 4-3. The series now reads Baltimore 2 games. The Angels 1.
We lost games we should have won. We won games we should have lost. We threw a no-hitter, and we gave up.
The Pacific now spreads its wings with service to London's Heathrow Airport. United, come fly the friendly skies.
First, Bunbury was a hero when he scored the go-ahead run in the 7th. Then he was the GOAT when he dropped Gritch's line drive in the bottom of the 9th. But California's ecstasy didn't last long. Bunbury's misplay kept the Angels alive just one more day. Then Scott McGregor sewed up the pennant with an 8-0 win as the Orioles went to their 3rd World Series of the decade. Next week, we'll show you Game 1 of the 1988 World Series and one of the most dramatic pinch hits of all time. I'll see you then.